Who were these Canaanites? The ones who lived in the Promised Land long before the Israelites arrived. What if I told you that unlocking their story could change how we understand biblical history forever? Why were they so significant? And why did God command the Israelites to conquer them? Could there be hidden layers to their existence that we've overlooked? Stick around as we dive deep into the enigmatic world of the Canaanites, uncovering truths that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. Ready to unravel these mysteries? Let's journey back in time and explore the fascinating origin of the Canaanites. So, let's dive into the origins of the Canaanites as mentioned in the Bible. According to the book of Genesis, the Canaanites are descendants of a guy named Canaan. Now, Canaan was the son of Ham, who in turn was one of the sons of Noah. Yes, the same Noah who built the ark and saved humanity from the flood. This lineage is mentioned in Genesis 10:6, where it traces the ancestry back through the generations. It's fascinating because this genealogical record places the Canaanites in a direct line from one of the most famous families in biblical history. Now, why is this important? Well, knowing that the Canaanites are descendants of Canaan, Ham, and Noah provides context for their role and significance in the biblical narrative. It sets the stage for understanding their interactions with the Israelites and their place in the ancient world. Bible specifically mentions that Canaan was the progenitor of several tribes that lived in the land of Canaan. This genealogical background helps us see why the Canaanites were in the land that the Israelites later sought to inhabit. Moreover, this genealogical perspective helps in understanding the broader family dynamics and the eventual conflicts that arose. The descendants of Noah were supposed to repopulate and spread across the earth after the flood. However, the specific mention of Canaan and his descendants in the Bible highlights a more focused narrative about the land and its people. This sets up the storyline for the many interactions, both peaceful and conflict-ridden, between the Canaanites and the Israelites as recorded in the scriptures. Moving on to the territory of the Canaanites, the land of Canaan was quite a significant region in ancient times. It covered what we now know as Lebanon, Israel, Palestine, and parts of Syria and Jordan. This expanse of land was not only geographically diverse, but also culturally rich. The Bible often refers to this area as the land flowing with milk and honey, emphasizing its fertility and abundance. The fertile plains, coastal areas, and strategic trade routes made it a highly desirable place to live. The geographical layout of Canaan is essential for understanding the socio-political dynamics of the time. The region's fertility meant that it could support a large population and diverse agricultural activities. This made it an attractive target for neighboring tribes and nations. The strategic location also made it a hub for trade and commerce, connecting various parts of the ancient Near East. This economic significance contributed to the cultural and religious diversity of the region, as people from different backgrounds interacted and exchanged ideas. In the biblical narrative, the land of Canaan is often depicted as the promised land for the Israelites. This promise made to the patriarchs Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob added a layer of divine significance to the territory. The Israelites' journey to and conquest of Canaan, under the leadership of figures like Moses and Joshua, is a central theme in the Bible. Understanding the geographical and cultural richness of the land helps in appreciating the magnitude of this divine promise and the subsequent efforts to fulfill it. Let's talk about the Canaanite culture and religion, which were quite distinct and elaborate. The Canaanites were polytheistic, worshipping a pantheon of gods and goddesses. Among the most prominent deities were Baal, the storm god, and Astarte, the goddess of fertility and war. Their religious practices included various rituals, sacrifices, and festivals designed to appease these deities and ensure prosperity and protection. This rich tapestry of beliefs and practices was deeply woven into their daily lives and social structures. The religious life of the Canaanites often brought them into conflict with the monotheistic Israelites. The Bible recounts numerous instances where the Israelites were warned against adopting Canaanite religious practices. Despite these warnings, there were periods when Canaanite influences seeped into Israelite worship, leading to syncretism. This blending of religious practices was frowned upon by the prophets, who called for a return to the worship of Yahweh alone. The constant tension between these two religious worldviews is a recurring theme in the biblical narrative. It's also interesting to note the cultural aspects of the Canaanites beyond their religion. They were known for their advancements in various fields, including art, architecture, and writing. The Canaanites contributed to the development of the alphabet, a significant cultural achievement that influenced subsequent civilizations. Their cities were well planned, with impressive structures and fortifications. This cultural richness adds depth to our understanding of the Canaanites as more than just antagonists in the biblical story, but as a sophisticated and influential civilization in their own right. The conquest of Canaan was not just a straightforward military endeavor. It was imbued with religious significance. The Israelites believed that they were carrying out God's will, and many of their battles were framed as divine judgments against the Canaanites for their idolatry and immoral practices. The fall of Jericho, with its walls tumbling down after the Israelites marched around them for 7 days, is one of the most famous episodes from this period. Despite the conflicts, the cultural and religious influence between the Canaanites and the Israelites went both ways. There were times when the Israelites adopted Canaanite religious practices, leading to periods of syncretism. This blending of religious traditions was a major concern for the Israelite prophets, who repeatedly called the people to return to the exclusive worship of Yahweh. The influence of Canaanite culture can be seen in various aspects of Israelite life, from language and writing to art and architecture. The Canaanites' development of the alphabet, for example, had a lasting impact on the region and beyond. This exchange of ideas and practices is a testament to the interconnectedness of ancient Near Eastern cultures. It also highlights the challenges the Israelites faced in maintaining their distinct religious identity amid a diverse and pluralistic environment. The prophets of Israel, such as Elijah and Jeremiah, often confronted the issue of syncretism head-on. They warned the people of the dangers of abandoning Yahweh for the gods of the surrounding nations, including the Canaanites. These prophetic messages were not just about religious purity, but also about social justice and ethical behavior. The prophets emphasized that true worship of Yahweh involved not only ritual practices, but also living according to God's commandments, which included justice, mercy, and righteousness. One of the most significant archaeological sites is the ancient city of Ugarit, located in present-day Syria. The city was a major center of Canaanite culture and has yielded a treasure trove of texts written in the Ugaritic script, an early alphabetic writing system. These texts include religious hymns, myths, and administrative records, offering a glimpse into the rich literary and religious traditions of the Canaanites. Another important site is the city of Hazor, mentioned in the Bible as a powerful Canaanite city conquered by Joshua. Excavations at Hazor have revealed monumental structures, fortifications, and a wealth of artifacts that attest to the city's significance in the ancient Near East. The findings at Hazor and other sites, such as Megiddo and Gezer, provide a tangible connection to the biblical narrative and help to corroborate the historical context of the Israelite conquest. These Archaeological discoveries also challenge and refine our understanding of the Canaanites. They reveal a complex and sophisticated society with advanced achievements in art, architecture, and administration. The material culture of the Canaanites, including their pottery, tools, and inscriptions, paints a picture of a vibrant and dynamic civilization that played a crucial role in the history of the region. The Canaanites, as depicted in the Bible, are a multifaceted and intriguing people with a rich genealogical heritage, a fertile and strategically significant territory, a distinct culture and religion, and a complex relationship with the Israelites. Their legacy endures through archaeological discoveries that continue to shed light on their contributions to the ancient world. Understanding the Canaanites enriches our appreciation of the biblical narrative and the broader history of the ancient Near East. And just as we start to grasp the origins and identity of the Canaanites, a hidden layer of biblical history begins to unfold right before our eyes. Imagine a people that played such a pivotal role in shaping the narrative of the Old Testament. Their influence, their struggles, and their interactions with the Israelites reveal so much about the ancient world and God's unfolding plan. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. Have you ever wondered why the Canaanites, despite their often adversarial role, were so significant in the biblical story? What lessons were the Israelites, and by extension, us, meant to learn from their encounters with these ancient people? Consider this. The Canaanites weren't just a backdrop for Israel's journey. They were integral to the story, challenging the Israelites in ways that tested their faith, obedience, and dependence on God. And isn't that a reflection of our own lives? Sometimes the challenges and adversaries we face are the very things that shape our faith and character the most. Now, let's think about those mysterious Nephilim mentioned in Genesis, who were said to have been in the land of Canaan. How do they fit into this intricate tapestry? Were they just mythological giants, or did they hold a deeper significance in the grand narrative? And speaking of grand narratives, what about the archaeological discoveries that continue to emerge from ancient Canaanite sites? Each artifact, each ruin, tells a story that bridges the gap between biblical accounts and historical evidence. How does this ongoing discovery shape our understanding of the Bible today? So, as we wrap up our exploration of the Canaanites, remember, the Bible is not just a collection of ancient texts. It's a living document that continues to reveal new insights and truths. What other hidden stories and forgotten peoples are waiting to be uncovered? And how do their tales resonate with our own spiritual journey? Stay tuned, because this is just the beginning. There's so much more to explore, so many more mysteries to unravel. And as we dive deeper, one question remains. What new truths will we discover next? Keep your hearts and minds open, because the journey through the pages of the Bible is far from over.